A murder trial suddenly dismissed. Fox 45 looks at the judge's decision to drop charges after the prosecution asked for a one-day delay. City and state leaders touting the success of tough-on-crime policies after a series of gun arrests and convictions in Baltimore. The continued fight to keep criminals and illegal guns off the streets. Serious allegations against the Harford County executive. Why one council member is accusing him of spying on him.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Well, controversy inside the Mitchell courthouse. Charges are dropped against a man facing 2 life sentences and a first-degree murder charge. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for staying with us. The reason for the dismissal, the state prosecutor is sick and requested just a one-day delay. But that request ultimately denied and the case dismissed. Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor has the latest details.
That's right. Today, the trial of an accused murderer and repeat violent offender was thrown out by a judge who claimed this case simply couldn't wait one more day.
First and second degree murder charges against 22-year-old Draquan Smith dropped Monday before trial even began. According to the city state's attorney's office, the lead prosecutor, Paul Crawley, contracted the flu over the weekend. He even obtained a doctor's note saying he could not be in court for jury selection and requested a one-day delay. But instead of granting the brief postponement, a judge demanding the state move forward with new counsel. A call local attorney Jeremy Eldridge deemed highly unusual.
There is case law in the state of Maryland that speaks to the fact that prosecutors are not fungible, meaning they can't simply be replaced by another line prosecutor. And the more serious the charge, the more important that rule is to adhere to it.
In this case, Smith is facing 2 life sentences and decades behind bars for more than a dozen other charges after police say he shot and killed another 22-year-old man during a daytime attack in South Baltimore last year. Police records show witnesses identified Smith as the man searching for the victim just before the incident to, quote, get his money from him.
So at a last-minute situation like this with a medical illness, it would be highly unusual and potentially inappropriate to just slide a different prosecutor in.
The city state's attorney's office sending a statement to Fox 45, reading in part, quote, this was not acceptable. The court forcing the state into the Hobson's choice of maintaining its prosecutorial independence, function, effectiveness, and continuity versus public safety and accountability does not serve the public interest in any way. Fox 45 also sending questions to the Maryland judiciary asking, what is your response to the state's attorney's argument? And why was a one-day delay denied? They replied, quote, the rules of the judicial conduct prohibit a judge from commenting on pending cases, even though the case has been dismissed. Meanwhile, as for Eldridge's best guess,
the court feels pressure to resolve the overwhelming number of cases that are in a backlog situation.
Although it remains unclear how a one-day delay would impact the court's COVID backlog.
But that seems to be the issue.
Now, Smith was recently convicted of attempted murder in another unrelated case earlier this year, so he will not be released anytime soon. Instead, the state will recharge and retry this case while he is still detained. A new court date is expected within the next 6 months. So again, it remains unclear why a judge would not grant a one-day delay in a situation like this. From outside of the Mitchell courthouse, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Well, 2 people were killed, 3 others shot overnight in 3 incidents across Baltimore. A 36-year-old woman was killed around 10:30 last night along Park Heights Avenue. Police say they found signs of blunt force trauma when they found her body. About 2 hours later, a 22-year-old man and 2 others, including a teenage girl, found with gunshot wounds along Dukeland Street. The 22-year-old was pronounced dead. Police say the shooting happened a few blocks away on Oakhurst Place. And just after 3:30 this morning, a 29-year-old man was shot along South Monroe Street. Anybody with information in any of these incidents asked to call Baltimore police. And with the deadly shootings overnight, Baltimore has now seen 158 homicides so far this year. That is down from 211 this time last year. There have been 391 non-fatal shootings, down from 424 at this time last year. Now, data shows Maryland U.S. Attorney Eric Barron and City State's Attorney Ivan Bates' focus on guns has led to more repeat violent offenders behind bars. Fox 45's Alexa Ashwell has details on their latest cases and how this prosecution style is helping Baltimore in its crime fight.
Just within the past several days and between the two offices, a total of 8 defendants have either pleaded guilty to or have been sentenced for gun crimes. All of them, the repeat violent offenders that officials say have long driven the violence here in Baltimore.
Sliding into Baltimore's crime fight, Maryland U.S. Attorney Eric Barron and City State's Attorney Ivan Bates.
Gun prosecution really is the centerpiece of our violent crime strategy.
That includes the two offices combing through cases on a daily basis and utilizing new prosecution policies that Barron says has contributed to the reduction in homicides and non-fatal shootings here in Baltimore.
Homicides are down 25% and non-fatal shootings are down 6.5%. And we think it's clear, and the data demonstrates that it's because we're working as a team. We're working collaboratively.
Collaboratively and creatively.
Good afternoon.
Back in August 2022, Barron announcing an Al Capone prosecution model, going after guns and repeat violent offenders in unconventional ways, including for fraud with the federal COVID relief plan. Barron creating a CARES Act strike force with the Department of Labor and Inspector General, and last month establishing the Maryland Financial Intelligence Task Force.
We're being more focused about following the money on those who commit violent acts in our communities. Many of those violent acts are driven by money, whether it be illegal drugs or drug trafficking. And so we're really focus on better following the money as an additional means of taking violent criminals out of our communities.
So overall, since last September, Barron says at least 30 people have been indicted on federal gun charges. Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
Well, so far this year, there have been 775 gun arrests across the city. That is a 2.6% decline compared to this time last year, according to city data posted on Open Baltimore. During the June 21st public safety meeting at City Hall, Fox 45 News questioned Baltimore police, asking why the sudden decline in gun arrests.
Gun arrests citywide year to date are down. They're down a little bit from last year. One district, they're up very significantly, the Eastern District.
The Eastern District is showing a 163% increase in gun arrests, according to former Baltimore Police Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson. This likely comes down to enforcement and added resources. Also today, Baltimore police announcing they have arrested a man on attempted murder charges following an assault earlier this month. Police say on July 20th, officers responded to reports of an assault near Water Street. Officers found a 32-year-old man with severe head trauma. Investigators later found out that the victim had gotten into a verbal altercation with a 45-year-old man who allegedly pushed the victim down the stairs. That 45-year-old man was arrested on Friday.
Now, a Fox 45 News alert in 3, 2, 1.
We're following breaking news right now. Former Baltimore County official Christopher McCollum has been sentenced to 6 months in prison. He was charged with theft, embezzlement, and perjury in February. He pled guilty to the theft and perjury charges in May. McCollum was the treasurer of 2 campaign committees, Friends of Kathy Bevins and Baltimore County Victory Slate. Prosecutors say he stole more than $100,000 from the Bevins campaign fund between April of 2015 and January of 2021, and more than $30,000 from the Baltimore County Victory Slate. You can read more about the charges on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Mary.
Hi, thank you. Well, some bold allegations today in Harford County. County Councilman Aaron Penman has accused County Executive Bob Casserly of spying on fellow politicians, law enforcement, and private citizens. The county councilman told Fox 45 News he believes his emails and calls were being monitored starting back in May after he raised concerns about the possible misappropriation of millions in county funds. Fox 45 News has not seen any evidence of these wiretap allegations against the county executive, as the councilman tells us he handed that evidence over to law enforcement.
I don't have it to share with you. I'm sure whenever their investigation is complete, they'll forward it out to where it could be public. I really believe this is a stain on our local democracy in Harford County. How can our community and our constituents trust this government if we're spying on each other?
Well, today, a spokesperson for the county executive said Bob Casserly was unavailable for comment, but they did issue this statement saying this is the second time in the past 2 months that Councilman Aaron Penman has made wholly unfounded, malicious, and slanderous allegations of criminal misconduct by the Casserly administration. The statement also called the allegations a deplorable political stunt, and that this conduct is especially egregious given the councilman's prior law enforcement experience. Well, the city of San Francisco investigating Twitter, why the company's new sign on its headquarters is causing controversy.
While President Biden is taking some time away from Washington early this week, Republicans are amping up their investigation into he and his family. I'll explain how coming up.
And if you'll be outside over the next few hours, it looks great with temperatures in the 70s and the 80s. We'll have several more nice days before our next weather maker. I'll let you know when to expect storms and my full forecast.
Well, when it comes to his re-election bid, there are plenty of factors that could affect President Biden's chances. The president's family could be one of those, and his critics use that to go after him today. They say there's new information. His son Hunter leveraged his father's power when he was vice president, putting him on speakerphone more than 20 times during business dealings. Sinclair's chief political correspondent Scott Thuman live in D.C. to examine if it could affect the 2020 election. Scott?
Yeah, Mary, and that's still to be determined. But what we can tell you is that this shows that we're in campaign season. August, the summer recess, usually a very quiet time here on Capitol Hill especially. But the fact that you still had this testimony going on today, evidence that Republicans intend to go after President Biden any chance they get. While it's a day at the beach for President Biden, a less relaxed tone back in Washington, where lawmakers met behind closed doors Monday to question Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devon Archer. Republicans hoping to connect Hunter's overseas deals they claim are improper, possibly even illegal, to President Biden.
I believe that Joe Biden knows about all those things. Now, what level of involvement he had as a participant, we're investigating to find out.
Republicans also seeking to identify buyers of Hunter Biden's pricey paintings to see if Biden's supporters are paying up as a way to funnel money to the family. But the Wall Street Journal reporting the president is ignoring the political perils while his son accompanies him in high-profile settings. The Journal noting how squarely in the spotlight President Biden has kept his scandal-plagued son, adding that proximity worries some presidential allies, concerned it could hurt Biden's chances to keep the White House in Democrats' hands in 2024.
The president and the first lady, they love their son, and they support him as he is working to rebuild his life.
Biden's approval ratings mired in the 40s, another potential hurdle. But Democrats don't believe Hunter's issues matter as much as Republicans claim, even using a Trump line of defense.
I think this is a witch hunt. If Hunter Biden has broken the law, he should be held accountable. I don't have any concerns.
But others insist President Biden should.
Anytime a politician or a politician's family has the word deal next to them, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
And that's why Republicans are feverishly searching right now for hard evidence of wrongdoing that they hope could pave the way for them to possibly try and impeach President Biden. Mary?
Scott, we have to ask about these alleged times that Hunter Biden got his dad on speakerphone while other people, including his business partners, were on the line. What should we take away from this?
Well, there are two very different interpretations of that, Mary, of what it could mean. Democrats, after today's testimony, said these were harmless interactions, sometimes nothing more than pleasantries, but not business, and that Hunter used them to sell an illusion that he had leverage via his father. Republicans owe a much different take. They are saying this is some clear evidence, and they plan to keep digging.
All right, Scott Thuman live in D.C. for us tonight. Thank you. Well, trending today, the city of San Francisco has cited Twitter for the new flashing X sign on top of the company's headquarters. Owner Elon Musk rebranded Twitter and its iconic bird logo as X last week. Musk tweeted a video of the building with the new flashing X over the weekend. City officials say they have been to the headquarters twice since Friday regarding the sign. Authorities issued a notice of violation for work without a permit for that sign. In response to the complaint, Musk says the sign was installed temporarily for a company event at the building.
Right now, you're taking a look over Baltimore and over Towson. It's nice and dry with plenty of sunshine. On the HD radar, you can see a few showers closer to Ocean City. Those are starting to depart, but we are getting ready for our next weather maker, and that's going to be a cold front. You will notice the change in temperatures tomorrow, only the mid-80s. That's where we are right now, 86 with plenty of sunshine over Baltimore. It really hasn't been that humid. In fact, it feels like it's 84 degrees. So it's been a very nice start to the work week. Across the state, we're mainly seeing those temperatures in the 70s and the 80s. Overnight, we dropped to the 50s and the 60s, looking at a mild start to the day. And then for the afternoon, temperatures in the mid-80s, around 86, 85 on Wednesday. And then as we head into Thursday, we're still looking at the mid-80s, but we'll have our next chance for showers and storms. The day will not be a washout. Now tonight, we're getting ready for our latest weather maker. That's this cold front that's moving south over Pennsylvania. That will clip our state, and it could result in a very isolated shower. Most of us are going to stay dry overnight, and it looks good waking up tomorrow. We'll have plenty of sunshine around 8 in the morning and even into the afternoon. Still lots of sunshine as our temperatures reach the low to mid 80s. Then more clouds move in as we head into Wednesday morning. Still, we're looking at a dry start. This model hints at a few stray showers. Most of us will stay dry throughout the day. We will, however, see those rain chances increase on Thursday as we get ready for the next weather maker. We'll have showers and storms on Thursday and again on Friday, but it looks mostly dry on Saturday and Sunday. On Monday, we'll have another chance for a few spotty showers and storms. Meanwhile, in the Atlantic Basin, we're keeping watch on two areas. The first with a low chance of formation, the second with a high chance of formation. Both will stay away from us. 65 for the low temperature. This is followed by the mid 80s tomorrow, and we are getting closer and closer to the start of the school year. Just under 30 days for Baltimore City and County, and also Harford, Howard, and Anne Arundel counties. We'll continue to count down to the bus stop forecast. Coming up, I'll have an exclusive look at the 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Wildfire season is getting busy. The York fire started in California but is now in southern Nevada. Dozens of fires are burning in Montana, including the Big Knife Fire. Here is some slow-down video of spider lightning over Mobile County, Alabama last night. And here is one happy dolphin jumping 6 times off the South Carolina coast. Dolphins jump for many reasons, and one of them is just to have fun.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
Well, high school sports practices are already underway with the start of school looming, but that pits teenage athletes up against a hotter than usual summer. Adela Uchida from our Sinclair sister station in Texas has the story.
Thousands of Texans have gone to the hospital for heat-related illness this summer as temperatures have risen above average for long streaks. Most of those people have been older people and outdoor workers, but there's a whole other group about to join them spending time outdoors, high school athletes. Football practice across central Texas is heating up, literally.
It's very hot. get up early in the morning and it's still very hot.
Ethan Slusher is on the team at Stony Point High School, where they take precautions to keep the athletes safe. What kind of preparations do you have to take?
Hydration before and during practice.
Across town at Westwood High School, the baseball players are already practicing for what is a spring sport. Bobby Leal quit football to focus on this one sport year-round.
It's increasing heat and Austin, it's hot, you know, like you're going like 102, 105. Like my select practices, it got up to like 105. We had to shut it down earlier.
But sweating doesn't bother them. Teammate and pitcher Jacob Wright.
The love of the sport outweighs the heat, in my opinion, so I like playing. I don't even realize it's hot when I'm out there.
Middle school cross-country coach Tim Necker.
So we start our practice at 7 a.m. in the morning for some of the kids, and then we also have an afternoon practice as well.
Says hydration is key.
We encourage them to hydrate along with their electrolytes, so water is not going to be enough. And so they need some type of sports drink.
The Austin Independent School District has heat guidelines. When it hits 100 like today, there's a maximum of 2 hours of practice with a 5-minute water break every 30 minutes. Above 105 and the max is an hour and a half and a water break every 20 minutes. Once it hits 110, outside activity is banned. Hot or not, the game will go on for young athletes.
And if it gets too hot, we go in the batting cages over there.
As well as a first game less than a month away.
August 25th.
Well, here we're dealing with more mild temperatures. Will be below average in the mid-80s at least through Thursday. That's when we have the next chance for showers and storms. Upper 80s and closer to average on Friday with scattered storms to start the weekend. We'll stay mostly dry on Saturday and Sunday. On Monday, we have the chance for a few spotty showers. Temperatures will be around 90. Then for the upcoming week, we'll stay warm in the upper 80s and low 90s with multiple chances for rain. Mary?
Jasmine, thank you. Well, finally tonight, calling all Marvel and DC comic fans, new data is showing the top superhero movies here in Maryland. And according to Google searches, the top superhero movie in our state is Guardians of the Galaxy. Coming up at number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Number 3 is Avengers Endgame. And if you are more of a DC comic fan, number 5 is The Dark Knight. Well, that's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud's up next. We'll see you back here for the news at 10 tonight. Have a great night, and thanks for watching.